That boy Andrew Cuomo is the biggest piece of shit, man. The biggest piece of shit. I'm looking at this story. I absolutely love reading David Sirota and his stuff. I love his reporting. I had some people on Twitter asking where I get most of my news from. I focus on getting my news from a lot of different sources. David Sirota is definitely one of my favorite ones, though. And I'm looking at his story that he wrote. It's in Jacobin. Andrew Cuomo and healthcare execs just got dealt a huge setback. Um, there was New York state legislators that was passing a bill that will limit Andrew Cuomo's ability to shield his big donors. He was able to successfully shield the CEOs of nursing homes because they was a big contributor to his campaign apparently. So someone tell me who's a bigger piece of shit than this guy. Who's a bigger piece of shit than Andrew Cuomo, man? And so I'm surprised because a bunch of New York lawmakers passed this bill that's supposed to go after these donors of the businesses that are responsible for the COVID outbreak being worse in New York. Is one of the worst states in the country. And even though that bill passed, this is what Andrew Cuomo said, because Andrew Cuomo has not yet said whether he will sign the bill. He said he could see the rationale for the legislation, but he said he would not sign the bill. I would think that this is a pretty cut and dry issue, Andrew Cuomo. This is a pretty cut and dry deal. You had nursing homes that greatly accelerated the spread of COVID-19 because of his decision to allow senior citizens in, uh, them take senior citizens in that nursing home. And they are being protected from lawsuits. And now New Yorkers, Andrew Cuomo is trying to do anything they can to limit their right for recourse for bad behavior that a lot of businesses have taken. I'm looking at the article here now. Um, David Schroeder did a pretty good job at like exposing all the massive lobbyists that donate towards Andrew Cuomo and how Andrew Cuomo will do the bidding of them unapologetically. And now you see why Andrew Cuomo is the darling of the Democratic Party. They was pushing Andrew Cuomo hard, even though New York was getting devastated by the pandemic. I haven't checked his approval ratings lately, but they was sky high, man. Sky high. Despite him just being a disaster on COVID and him just being one of the most corrupt people in the country. One of the absolute most corrupt people in the country. And this is the kind of person that they endorse. Um, See, in May, that's when Andrew Cuomo. That's when his administration was trying to get a provision in the annual state budget that would have had massive immunity for a lot of the companies that was donating to him. The hospital associations was a big part of his donor base, and these are the people that he is trying to protect. So the primary reason why I wanted to cover this, not just to get David Schroeder props, because I'm a massive fan of his work. Um, Democrats wouldn't have handled this pandemic any better than Republicans would have. I want you guys to realize that. Donald Trump may have been uniquely bad, and there may have been small decisions that Hillary Clinton would have made, but I guarantee you, this is the kind of corruption we were seeing nationwide under Hillary. And with the media complicity around Hillary, you wouldn't see any investigations into this kind of corruption. You would see them sweep it aside. Even with Trump, someone who they hate, they were still doing useful propaganda for him when he was doing the briefings, talking about how strong he was being. So can you imagine how they would treat Hillary Clinton um, during the course of this pandemic? I think they would have did her bidding like they was doing her bidding during the primary and throughout the course of her career. You will see her protect big hospital chain conglomerates. You will see her enact like the CARES Act. You will see her embrace corporate bailouts in a scale in which we haven't. It will be like Trump, but it will be with the liberal class on her side. Because you see some people who are calling out the corporate greed, who I guarantee would not say anything if Hillary Clinton was involved, if she wasn't president during this outbreak. So when I see the leadership of Andrew Cuomo, I'm thinking of how the Democratic Party would have responded to this crisis as well. I don't think they would respond in an extreme neoliberal fashion, push austerity. They would have left the working class behind. I just did a video on it today. The Democratic Party voted against Medicare for all in the middle of this pandemic. So you have seen Hillary Clinton continuing to push healthcare as a privilege during her time in office during this pandemic. So Democrats aren't your friends. And when I see the amount of elderly people that died because Andrew Cuomo's decision regarding nursing homes, and now that he's trying to protect hospitals, I don't understand how anyone can continue to argue that a lesser of two evils is a thing. So once again, I want to shoot this video just because I came across this article and I saw it fascinating. The entire point was that Democratic lawmakers actually are pushing back against Andrew Cuomo now. They are um, they are seeing his corruption. They are seeing the fact that he's trying to protect his donors, so they put legislation to block him from doing that. And Andrew Cuomo, in response to that, was saying it may be a good legislation, but he may not sign on to it. So I want people to realize that Andrew Cuomo and Nancy Pelosi is one of the most corrupt people in the world. Period. Not this is not a defense of Donald Trump at all. Donald Trump is as corrupt as they come. He as awful as they come. But my point as a commentator in politics, I want people to realize that they're all part of the same team. They all have the same core ideology, and they will act in the same way if given a chance in government. Because if you had a Republican in charge during Standing Rock, that would have been a massive story. If you had a Republican deny Flint and pretend Flint was fixed like Obama did and pretend to drink their water when he didn't, that would have been a massive story. So if you want to ask me why I'm not afraid of the next Trump term, because we will have more people fighting the government versus if Hillary Clinton or God forbid Joe Biden is in charge, you will see massive media complicity. You already see them trying to wedge apart Black Lives Matter. I already seen a few liberals trying to smear Black Lives Matter as some sort of Russian movement. Are people influenced by the Russian propaganda? So I want people to understand that if Trump loses, which will be a good thing, our situation won't improve. It won't improve, especially since progressives have they given away all their power immediately to start off with. So um, I really wanted to share that story, and like I said, I was kind of reading through the story as I was doing this video. I appreciate you guys checking me out. I got this new computer, so I'm looking to expand my channel, and I'm gonna be doing like my like live reaction to these kind of stories more often. And as I get better with video editing, I maybe can start split screen these stories, kind of how like you see on Jimmy Dore or in Cal Kalinski's show. I do appreciate all my subscribers because I got over 1,000 subscribers, and throughout the whole process of me being on YouTube, I was trying to learn how to be a YouTuber because it never part of the plan. So I appreciate you guys checking this video out, especially if you watch it to the end where I give this thanks. But trust me, I'm gonna get better, and I'm learning video editing. I'm learning how to be a video producer. It takes a while because once again, I never had a plan to be a YouTuber. So this is something I'm gonna try and plan on doing is trying to get my live reaction to these stories. Um, 'Cause I want you guys to know why my process of absorbing information. All the people that follow me on Twitter. But anyway, this is Nick. Also known as Progressive Martial Artist. A lot of you guys follow me on Twitter, at Socialist MMA. It used to be Fly Time MMA, but now it's Socialist MMA. But once again, thank you guys for checking this video. Like and subscribe, please. And this is the Progressive Martial Artist. I'm signing out.